Every morning your alarm goes off, and for a few seconds, you feel it. That thick, heavy fog sitting behind your eyes, a resistance so deep it feels almost like grief. You drag yourself upright, squint at the light, and think, something is wrong with me. But what if nothing is wrong with you? What if your body is working exactly as it was designed? Only that design is over 300,000 years old, and it was never built for alarm clocks, deadlines, or a 9 a.m. meeting. Scientists call it sleep inertia, and for most of human history, no one even noticed it, because no one was being yanked out of sleep by a piercing electronic scream. Here is what is actually happening inside your brain. When you wake abruptly, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic, decision-making, and basically being a functional human being, takes between 15 and 60 minutes to fully come back online. During that window, your brain is still half running on the same slow wave rhythms of deep sleep. You are not lazy, you are not broken. You are, quite literally, partially unconscious. A 2006 study in the Journal of Sleep Research found that the cognitive impairment from sleep inertia can be worse in the first few minutes than pulling an all-nighter. Let that land for a second. Your brain, right after waking, performs worse than a brain that has not slept at all. Now here is where it gets interesting. For 99% of human history, nobody was startled awake. You woke when light crossed your eyelids. Slowly, gradually, the way a tide comes in, not the way a door gets kicked open. Hunter-gatherer communities, even the ones studied today, like the Hadza of Tanzania, do not have a single word for an alarm. They wake naturally, often across a wide window of time, and crucially, they do not all wake simultaneously. Anthropologists believe this was a survival feature. At any given moment of the night, someone in the group was always in lighter sleep, always partially alert, always listening. Your ancestors were not morning people or night owls. They were a system, a beautifully distributed network of human consciousness, where someone was always watching the dark. And then the Industrial Revolution happened, and we decided everyone needed to be fully awake, fully productive, at exactly the same time. Your biology never got the memo. Here is the battle that is happening inside you every morning, and nobody ever explained it like this. About 30 minutes before your eyes open, your body starts preparing to wake up. The adrenal glands pump a surge of cortisol, your body's natural alarm system, into your bloodstream. This is called the cortisol awakening response. And in a natural sleep environment, it rises gently, like someone slowly turning up a dimmer switch. Your body heat increases. Your blood pressure climbs. Your brain starts moving toward lighter stages of sleep. But your phone goes off at 6:15 a.m. Before that process is finished, you are hauled out of deep sleep mid-cycle. Now your brain has a cortisol spike it did not ask for, melatonin, your sleep hormone, still hanging around in your system, and a prefrontal cortex that is essentially still offline. This is why the snooze button feels physically irresistible. Your body is not being weak. It is trying to finish a biological process that you interrupted. When you hit snooze, you are not being lazy. You are responding to a legitimate physiological signal that says, "We are not done yet." The tragedy is, by the time you finally drag yourself up, you have actually made it worse. A second interrupted sleep cycle means more incomplete cortisol cycles, more melatonin residue, and a deeper fog than if you had just gotten up the first time. We have built an entire civilization around a 9 to 5 schedule that is biologically arbitrary, and the damage is real. Chronobiologists, scientists who study biological time have identified something called social jet lag, the misalignment between your internal clock and the schedule society demands of you. According to research from the University of Munich, more than 70% of the population suffers from some degree of social jet lag on workdays. 70%. It is not that those people are undisciplined, it is that the modern world is running on a clock that was designed for factory shifts, not for human biology. Night owls, people whose circadian rhythms run later, are not lazy. They are carrying a genetic variant that served a protective purpose for thousands of years. Somebody had to watch the fire at 3 a.m. Your chronotype is not a character flaw, it is a biological inheritance from an ancestor who kept your bloodline alive. So what do you actually do with this? The answer is not a 5 a.m. wake-up routine. It is not cold plunges or sunrise journaling or becoming a different person. The answer is to stop fighting your biology and start working with a 300,000-year-old operating system that is, underneath all of it, still running. Light is the most powerful reset signal your circadian rhythm has. Not coffee, not willpower, light. Within the first 30 minutes of waking, even on a cloudy morning, getting outside or near a bright window triggers a cascade that tells your brain it is time. The cortisol cycle finishes, the melatonin clears, the fog lifts. The second thing, consistency matters more than timing. Your circadian rhythm is not a fixed clock. It is an adaptive one. It locks to the signals you repeat. Waking within the same 30-minute window every day, even on weekends, is more powerful than any supplement on the market. And the third thing, the one nobody tells you, give yourself 15 minutes to be half awake. Do not check your phone. Do not make decisions. Do not send emails. Your ancestors lived in it every morning, waking slowly next to dying embers, as the world came back to them at its own pace. It's your brain consolidating memory, processing emotion, and transitioning between worlds. It was never supposed to be skipped. Tonight, when you set your alarm, you probably will not think about any of this. But somewhere in the hours before it goes off, your body will begin a process it has been running since before language existed. Your temperature will drop, your brain will consolidate the day, your cortisol will begin to climb. And when that alarm pulls you back into the world, into the light, into the noise, into the demands of a civilization that still has not figured out how to sync with its own biology, remember this: the resistance you feel in the morning is not weakness, it is memory. It is the echo of every ancestor who watched the fire die down and felt the darkness lift slowly on its own terms. Your brain does not hate mornings. It just remembers what mornings were supposed to feel like. And somehow, through everything we have built and lost and forgotten, it is still waiting for that.